All right. All right, guys. What is going on? What is good? What is good, chat? Did you guys have a good weekend today? Or a good weekend this weekend? Did you guys have a good weekend? Did you read? Did you study? Did you learn? Or no? I 100% slept in today. I don't know about everybody else, but I stayed up late last night. I had to finish the third season of Hannibal. I had to do it. So I already knew how it ended, but I wanted to get that done. So that's what I did. What's good? Marshall, Eric, 2020, MJ, Slowly, Monkey, Mason, Tordy, Julius, Pat, Sean, Felix, Jorks, Fernando, H, Relax with family, stressful, boiler broke down. Ooh. Well, life happens, my friend. That is one of the reasons why we prepare for stuff in advance. But I tell you what, Sean, if you haven't taken a cold shower yet, now's your chance. Now is your chance, Sean. If you have not taken a cold shower. See, God works in mysterious ways, my friend. Y'all keep thinking otherwise. You know what you have to do, Sean. Why are you running? Right? Sean, I am not going to repeat what you just said in my chat. There are ladies here, Sean. There are ladies present. Okay? But nah, I can agree. I mean, certain cold shower you might turn into a lady, but anyway, that is not the point of today's live stream. That is not it. Fitted a new boiler today. Right, well, new year, same tomfoolery in the SMS chat, so that's always nice. That's always lovely. 2027 is our year, I guess. But anyway, what have you guys been looking at today? Probably the indices, I'm guessing. Is that what you guys have been looking at? I don't know if you guys can hear that. The trash garbage men are outside. If you were not here for Friday's stream, pull up my calendar real quick. If you're not here for Friday's stream, we went fairly in depth on some of the notes that I have from the first few chapters of the book. Traded during London, very nice. Watching but no trading for me. Nothing wrong with that. No, we hear you. Okay. Have y'all gotten further along into Book of the Month? Let's see. Today we are here. We are on the 12th. Right? Today is the 12th, which means you should be... Lord, I cannot do math. 5, 6 to 12. So you should probably be on chapter 7 or 8, I'm guessing. Maybe 9. Excuse me. Yeah, you should be somewhere between like chapter 8 to 11. Somewhere in there. If you're not on chapter 8, 9, 10, or 11, you're probably behind. because you should be finishing up chapter 12 within the next 2 days. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. But I know we talked about this a little bit on Friday, but can you tell me? Can you tell me again? Because this is a public live stream now instead of a members only live stream. The chat is still member only though. But have you guys been learning new things from our book of the month, dog? How to read a book. Yes or no, chat? Have you been learning something? Again, I thought I was a good reader. It turns out I was not a great reader. I was okay. I was decent. But I was not a great reader. On a scale from 1 to 10, before this book, I was probably like at a 6. After this book, I'm like probably an 8. Whenever I get to syntopical reading, that I'm excited for that. And I sort of did that recently, yesterday at the not the bookstop. I haven't woken up yet. The coffee shop, not the bookstore. I was at the coffee shop and I brought those 7 books with me on. Damn it, Mason! You do this every fucking time. Brought those 7 books with me, and I was doing somewhat of a syntopical between those 7. Finding, it's kind of like a Venn diagram, but with all 7 books. Between habits and thinking and how to think about money, all that stuff, Proverbs and everything. That was a super solid work. And that was not easy to do. So I say all that to say, as you become a more advanced reader, right? And as you become a more advanced student, when you learn subjects, for me nowadays, it is impossible to stick with one subject, because what happens is, as you're learning something, your brain automatically associates ideas in that book with things you already know from other books. That's why it's really easy for me to be like, oh, that sounds like Marcus, or that sounds like Seneca, or, you know, this is something Ryan Holiday would probably, you know, talk about or whatever, because that's what happens. So a syntopical read is where you read multiple books on the same subject. What I did was a little bit different and read or put together 7 books that overlapped on the same topic. So I'm not sure if that's a thing. I doubt I invented anything new, but that's what I was doing. I know, Felix. I know. One day I'm gonna get you guys to act right, but it ain't today. So yeah, the drawings are still up here from Friday. Elementary reading, inspectional reading, analytical reading, and then syntopical. So these levels are cumulative, which means you can't have one without the other. So that means inspectional reading is inspectional itself, but has elementary as part of it. And then analytical reading, which is pretty much what I do the majority of the time, that has inspectional and elementary reading in it. And then syntopical obviously is its own. I told you what that is already, but it has everything else inside of that too. So I am starting to see why, and I hope I don't become this, but I'm starting to see why. Y'all ever seen a TV show where there's a college professor and they go back to their house and they have like their office or their home library, and it's all books, and there's like a ladder thing on the bookshelf, and there's papers all over the desk, and it looks discombobulated and unorganized. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I was always like, That's kind of weird. I get it now. Like, I get it. So I just hope I don't become one of those weird old fat professors that are super smart but just weird. So we'll see. We'll give it like a decade and we'll find out. But anyway, I don't have anything planned, so what we can do is talk about the indices a little bit, and then I'll probably go over what I said I was going to go over in my most recent Instagram post. What was it the other day, Friday? SPY had hit all-time highs. Yep. And we are almost there again, which should not be that big of a deal. The market can keep printing all-time highs and all-time highs again. This is another reason why when I first began as an MLM educator, I was screaming to people from the mountaintops with neon signs and curse words saying, stop shorting the indices. Stop shorting the indices. So every time somebody blew their account, okay, that's why I am the way that I am, right? I'm a very like, I fucking told you so kind of guy, because I repeat myself, you don't listen, you get wrecked, and then it's like, hey, I told you so, right? And this is easily another example of that. It's just too easy, bro. It's just too easy. Once the indices have some sort of retracement, once they take out an old low, I'm not going to say it's smooth sailing, but it's almost smooth sailing after that. If you can long indices below old lows, whether it be stock, options, futures, whatever, bro, it's only one trade. And all you got to do is just wait. It's just wait. Wait a few months. In certain cases with the other stocks, I'm not going to keep covering that again, but you know, in some cases, like last year, you just wait. You just wait. You just wait. You know what I mean? And this is also one of the reasons why excuse me. In these types of environments, I tell you not to short. Oh shit, that's QQQ. Told you I'm not awake yet. That's why I was trying to figure out, like, why are those gaps right there? Let me see. We have like a distinctive low here that rallies. Let me see. London is right here. So that initial move lower took out that short-term low, traded back into whatever gap this is. I don't even remember. I think that was a regular trading hours gap. And then right here, there's equities open, but just prior, right there, beautiful, beautiful mitigation. Someone left me a comment a little while ago. Johnny. They commented on my YouTube short on the mitigation model. And I think they commented on the... This is confusing. So he commented on the short. Excuse me. He said, literally clicked on this video and applied the same technique for a buy and caught a 1 to 3 risk-free trade. That was 3 hours ago. Which is great, by the way. That's badass. So shout out to Johnny, whoever that is. And I'm wondering if that was it or not. I don't know. They didn't tell me. But if they did, That's a pretty good job. That's a pretty good job, I must say. Even though it was prior to equities. That's probably something that I probably wouldn't have taken myself, to be honest. But hey, a good trade is a good trade, man. And then we just, like a few minutes ago, we just traded above Friday's high here. So that's not bad. Oh, you know what? That is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. This is why I don't stream right when I wake up. So that move here, let me go back to YM for a minute. So that 830 initial move lower there, that was not seen on the others. So ES mooned higher. NQ, same thing. It really almost does nothing below its open and just moons higher. So we had NQ higher, ES higher, but Dow was the only one to go lower. And it took out London's, that's got to be London's low here. Right? So watch this. Expansion lower, because that's one candle. It's one 5-minute candle. Is that... Wait a second. Yeah. It's a 200-point candle in 5 minutes. Ooh, crazy. So expansion lower met with expansion higher. What is that? You guys remember watching that T-Trade series? I think it was like 4 videos or 5 videos. Or maybe it was 1 video in 5 parts. I don't remember. But I know he talked about the phases of price. So expansion lower met with expansion higher. Right, Felix. That's a reversal. That's a reversal. And because Dow was the only one that went lower and it took out that low, right? You can see that it doesn't just tap the low or a little bit below it and reverse. It extends beyond that, you know, to a degree. So anyone who's long that has a stop there, they got knocked out. Anybody that has a sell stop here, they get triggered in, and smart money is going to give an inch but take a mile, right? So that's a classic reversal here. And I wouldn't use this up candle here. I would use these 2 up candles here. So it's not always like the highest one. It's going to be the one that has the biggest body, like your mom. So that low being taken, there's our low, high, lower low are getting back in sync with I'm glad someone's paying attention, that getting back in sync with the other indices going higher. And so the next retracement is usually going to be that opportunity, and there you have an imbalance right there. So you have an overlap of concepts. I probably wouldn't label this, but you kind of have a shitty inversion here as well. And 420. Look at that shit. 420 level, can't escape it. I keep telling you. I keep telling you. It's mostly for NQ, but Dow, same thing. 420. Name one other educator in the history of fucking planet Earth that taught you about 420 levels. Maybe 20 levels. Not 420 levels, though. I know. Crazy shit. But anyway, beautiful mitigation there. We're probably not done. With NQ taking out Friday's high, Dow, even though it's weaker, she should be able to catch up. And if she doesn't, then I won't be surprised because it is Dow Jones. So we'll see. Oh, enter. You felt like that was too big of a stop loss. I can agree with that. It probably would have went to the bodies, or probably would have had to have gone down to the smaller time frame and maybe like have it in here, because this to me is balanced. This is the breakaway, so it really shouldn't trade down here. So if like the high end of the mitigation was the entry, the stop could have went here. And again, this is just a hindsight study. I wasn't watching or trading Dow at 9 o'clock this morning. But like aiming for that might get you a 1 to 2.7. So a little bit more for that 1 to 3. It's probably about right there. You see what I mean? So it's still like a 5-minute mitigation, but fine tuning that stop loss on a smaller time frame. I mean, that seems okay. You know what I mean? I definitely wouldn't short that. Oh, look at that, Fernando. I didn't even see your second message there. But hopefully that answers your question. Your stop can go there. Not financial advice, but if you wanted a much tighter stop, a much smaller stop, it can go below the mitigation. But again, the tighter stop loss you have, the more likely it is to get hit. So the closer it is to the market, the more likely the market's going to take it. Which is why if we wait for liquidity to be swept, especially if we get a turtle soup, that turtle soup low, man, that turtle soup low or that turtle soup high is like Fort Knox. There's a very, very high chance that it's not coming back for that. We don't have a turtle soup here, but we do have a divergence here, because remember the other two indices went higher at our open. Dow went lower. So it got back in sync with the others on that move higher. So then the next retracement is that opportunity to go long. If you were not already long below this low or below it, then that's what the mitigation model is for. Add-ons or really, really late entries, if you missed it, could be something right after that. So like you have something like this, possibly. Imbalance there. Market trades back into the mitigation and then trades through it. So I don't even think that gets it doesn't trade out, like close outside of it and then trade back into it. So I take that off. That probably wouldn't have been ideal. But you do have this down candle here that gets traded into. I think it's hard to tell. I know I'm getting old. You know what I mean? I'm getting too old for this shit. That's why I don't even argue with people as much as I used to. I just block people now. Couldn't even tell you how many blocked people in 2025. Very peaceful. Because a lot of people are fucking retarded. So anyway, if you didn't get in on something like that, you know, you could trade something like that. And then the stop goes to that low. So that may be a little bit more beneficial for you. I know not everybody agrees. Not everybody likes taking later entries, but that's okay. That low, and then aiming for that same highs, that's over a 1 to 4. So later entries can still give you better RR. Not always, but sometimes they can. So I don't know. It's cool to me. It ain't got to be cool to you. But, yeah. Let me ask you guys this. Do we not talk about that very often? I know I've covered it before. I think I referred to them as secondary entries, like concepts based off of other concepts. Can you drop a 1 in the chat if we've discussed that before? Do you guys remember that? Like, what I mean is you have a mitigation, right? We print a down candle that gets traded through. So now we have, it's probably not in the greatest spot, but we have a shift in the state delivery here, and then we have a smaller shift in the state delivery here. So it's like, oh, okay, well, this shift in the state delivery formed after the mitigation. So it's like the mitigation and then this. So that second one becomes like an add-on or a entry if you were not already in. Hopefully that makes sense. Fernando, the second leg model or second stage model would be different. Actually, you know what? You might have that here. It's hard to tell because I have not drawn any fibs yet. But what we would look for... No, we don't have shit on the left. That's not super obvious. Okay. So if you're looking at this... like the original consolidation, and this is the low that's been set, yeah, this probably crossed 50%. I don't even know. Yes, it did. See that? So, you know what I don't like about this, though? I mean, it still presents as manipulation and the low risk buy. First leg. So, yeah, this would be the second leg. You're correct. It just doesn't do it in a manner that I would have preferred. But that's okay. Again, the market's not always going to do what I want to do or what I want it to do. It's not always going to do what you want it to do. That's why you have to interpret the market, and then I'm going to tell you to predict. I'm going to say don't react. Okay, I'm going to say predict. I always say that. Someone asked me about that the other day. They said, "Oh, John, you know, do you have a formula like if X then Y, you know, how do you react to price?" And I'm like, never react. Never react. Always predict. Okay? I do that for you fucking damn near every day. Damn near every day. Where are we going? These highs, that's my prediction. Will I always get it right? No. Of course not. But what we are looking for, right? Where's the liquidity at? I want to trade in that direction. In the direction of opposing liquidity, usually. So if we got our manipulation, if we got our low risk buy, if we got our first leg, now we're back in a discount. So that mitigation's in a discount. This down candle's in a discount. The 50% level is a discount. Okay. And what you'll notice, you probably haven't noticed this. You probably don't fucking study it. You wait for me to tell you shit. That's why you don't know shit. You ever noticed? You can test this, by the way. Okay. You want me to give you a homework assignment? You want something to back test that probably nobody else has ever told you to back test? Excuse me. I gotta bring my mute button back. I don't have my stream deck is, I don't know, not updated or something. You ever notice this? You ever notice how 50% becomes a discount after it leaves the discount? It becomes fair value after it leaves the discount. What I mean is we cross 50%. We go back into a discount. These are where all your next best opportunities are if you're not already in, right? All of this here is below 50%. We leave 50% here and then right there. That's what I'm talking about. When I told you that 50% is a discount if you're bullish, that's what I'm talking about right there. Right there. Okay? It's really not, it's not tailored to any concept. It's not tailored to an inversion or, you know, I don't know, something else. It's not tailored to anything. It's just literally 50% of the range. Easy math. What's the range? Divide it by 2. No calculator required, baby. We got a fib tool. That is what I was trying to tell you. When 50%, that becomes a discount if you're bullish, or this would be a discount if you're bearish. So do you guys understand what I'm saying? Drop a 2 if you guys get it. We cross 50%, then into a discount, then back above 50. And once we're back above 50%, then it becomes fair value. Or that fair value level technically becomes a discount. It becomes cheap. Bang. Price launches. That's the things about what I teach, man. Everybody teaches concepts. A lot of people teach time too, not correctly. Very few people can show you how to trade outside the scope of what's popular. Ooh, I should put that on a fucking t-shirt. I can teach you shit that is outside the scope of what's popular and more accurate. Yeah. I know. One day I'll run out of rabbits out of my sleeve. We got a couple left. I got a couple left, chat. They're in there. But anyway, let me get back to my point. I know I bullshit a lot, but I forgot what your question even was, honestly. I've been bullshitting. Oh, the second leg. Yeah. So by definition, yeah, this would count as part of the second leg. Yes. So to be frank, cut and dry. Yes. Yes, it would be. Patch said, that's how I took longs on Friday, concepts off of concepts. And how'd that work for you? Did that work well? Do you mean it has to leave it with a bullish candle? How else would it leave it? If we are aiming for highs, how else would it leave it? It ain't going to trade above it by printing a down candle. The crossing, I never said it has to close above 50%. It's the crossing of 50%. But 99 times out of 100, you're going to see it trade and close above 50% and then get back into a discount. That's your opportunity to get in sync with price. Again, if you're not already in. If you're in from down here, then I wouldn't worry about it. If anything, you can add on or move your stop a little bit or both. I don't even know what your question is right now. So the last imbalance will get trigged. I don't even know what trig. The only trig I know is trigonometry, or the trigger on this Glock if you try to rob me. Those are the only 2 trigs that I know of. I'd show you that on stream, but I don't want to get banned off YouTube. But as you can tell, if you look around, the FAFO scale is just as true as it is today as it was years ago. FAFO scale is real, and it's not a hard chart. Anyway, let's go over some notes. You guys good with that? I'm gonna do it anyway, but you guys okay with that? Oh, you know what else too? Oh, this is beautiful, man. I didn't even cover this. I didn't even cover this. This was, man, that was 9 o'clock. That was 8:55, and then 9 o'clock. So there's your open of the hour, right? 8:55 closes, and then 9 o'clock opens right there. Right there, 9 to 10. So if you were anticipating, right, an expansion higher, you want to buy below the open of the hour. 9:05, 9:10 to go higher. Interesting. So, yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that was a very, very vicious candle. I can agree with that. But that's what we want. We want that break in correlation. That's what shows us that it's manipulation. And if it is manipulation, it ain't going back down there. And if this lower low, is that what? Is that a target or a stop loss? Free beginner series chat. Is that a target or a stop loss? That's a stop loss. Okay. Well, these highs up here, we have a somewhat of a slightly lower high. Is that a stop loss or a target? That's a target. So if this is a stop loss, this is a target. When we're trading around this mitigation, then the likelihood is we're going to go higher versus going lower. That's why reaction is fucking retarded. That's why prediction is where it's at. I'm going to react. Okay, react all you want. You'll do better when you learn to predict, though. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now that we have gone over a few things, I feel like it's been fairly productive. Would you guys like to go over some notes that I have? Or should I save this for another stream? You know what? This is a lot. And there's only about 10 minutes, about 12 minutes left before the hour. We may have to push this. Here, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over Proverbs. Okay. I'm going to do my best not to curse. Okay. Okay. I might have, it might have paused there or froze there for a second. I'm going to go over Proverbs. If you don't know what that is, Proverbs is one of the books of the Bible. Okay. So listen to me. If the Bible is not your thing, this may not be for you. I think it's for you. But if you're like, yo, I'm not down with the Bible, turn the stream off. Okay? I want to give you, I think it's 10. Let me count this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to give you 10 verses from Proverbs. Okay? Can y'all drop a 10 in the chat? We're going to skip 3 through 9. Can y'all drop a 10 in the chat if you want 10 verses from Proverbs that are related to wealth? It's not going to make you rich quick. Okay? It will teach you how to not be stupid with money. Okay? Now, I'm not going to give you the full verse, but I will give you the verses specifically, so you can go look them up yourself. We'll do a couple together, but I ain't going to do all 10 for you. All right, so a few of you are ready. Fernando dropped a 3. That's wild. That's wild. Okay. Proverbs. If you guys have a Bible, Proverbs is roughly near the middle. Roughly. The first, okay, watch this. The first verse is 10:4. Proverbs 10:4. If you guys have a Bible and you can write it out in the chat, feel free to do so. But Proverbs 10:4. Are you ready for this one? Proverbs 10:4 says, "A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." So in other words, don't be lazy. There's your first one, 10:4. Don't be lazy. Here's your second one. Proverbs 11:25. 11:25. Whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. So to me, that means be generous. It means be generous. Bless others, and you will be blessed. The next one is 13:11. Proverbs 13:11. You ready for this one? Watch this. Especially if you're a day trader. Okay? I want you to listen to this one. I want you to listen to all of them, but watch this. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. I need to say this one again, man. But now I want you to think back. I want you to think back, okay? Think back all the way to the MLM industry. Do you guys remember those events and those house events and all that stuff? I want you to use that lens now, right? In the eyes of the MLM industry, right? Whether you're a member or whatever, let's reread that, okay? Chapter 13, verse 11, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. John, how did you know the IM Academy would collapse? I didn't. I didn't know. I absolutely did not know. But you know who did? The Bible, big dog. Come on. So there's your first three. 10:4, don't be lazy. 11:25, be generous. 13:11, consistency. We could say consistency, not intensity. That'd probably be a good one too. Do you guys want a couple more, or do you want to shut it down? What do you want to do, Chad? We did the first three. Do you want a couple more? Or is that good enough? You guys want more? Listen, chat. I'm telling you. I know I talk about a lot of books. I do. I talk about a lot of books, baby. There is nothing like the Bible. And I don't know every book of the Bible. I don't. But I know Ecclesiastes and Proverbs are bangers. They're absolutely bangers. We'll do the first three, right? Okay, the next one. These are just ones I picked out, by the way. These are not like... I don't know how to finish that sentence. I want to move on. The next one is 14:23. Proverbs 14:23. This sounds like Robert Greene. Actually, Robert Greene sounds like Proverbs, but whatever. 14:23. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. I'm not really sure which version this is. There's better versions out here, so I don't mean to be disrespectful. Crossway. But mere talk tends only to poverty. That means actions, not words. Actions speak louder than words. You've heard that before, right? Where do you think a lot of these aphorisms and things that people say, where do you think it comes from? It comes from the Bible. They just don't want to tell you that. Or they don't know it because they learned it from something else. But a lot of the principles that make people successful come from the Bible. It's just a watered down, different version of it. So I doubt the MLM industry told you that either, but that's okay. So number 14:23, right? Chapter 14, verse 23. Less talking, more action. Number 5. Yeah, we'll do this last one and that'll be it. Number 5. Chapter 15, verse 22. Chapter 15, verse 22. This is what it says. Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Do you remember the 26 rules for life that I gave you? Let's find it. 26 rules for life. If you remember 18, actions speak louder than words, right? That's one of the verses that we just went over. Number 22. Right here. Number 22, consult your board of directors. What would Jesus do? What would the expert in this situation do? How would the philosopher think about this situation? What would the leader do if they were in my shoes? Whenever you need help, you can ask for it from someone who can help you. Or, because if they're not alive, right? You can also refer to the Bible. There's lots of wisdom there. Duh. You could refer to your notes, your books, your commonplace book. You can look at things from different angles, like the various lenses of the philosophers or the experts. Do you think I just made all this stuff up? Do you think I just have, all these original thoughts that I somehow have created something new? No. No. A lot of this stuff, whether you think it or not, a lot of this stuff is actually biblical. Oh, religion is this, religion is that. Look, I don't know what to tell you, but a lot of the schemes that people believe in, the base of the things that they teach are from religion, bro. So that's crazy to see that you don't like religion, but yet you use it. I don't know. Weird to me, chat. Weird to me. So, anyway, those are your 5 verses. Do I need to say them again? 10:4, 11:25, 13:11, 14:23, 15:22. Don't be lazy. Be generous. Consistency. Less talking, more action. And seek your board of directors. Those are your first 5. There's 5 more, but we're out of time today because I BS'd a lot earlier. So, but I don't know. Let me put it to you this way. When I wake up in the morning or the afternoon sometimes, when I think about, okay, what am I going to teach next? What do people want to learn? Or what do they need to know? Where are people messing up? We need to figure out, which topics people need help with, right? So it was the other day, I was like, you know what? I really don't talk about money as much as I should, right? Building wealth, stuff like that. And so I thought to myself, well, I have all these books over here, and I talk about different subjects, like we have Stoic philosophy, a lot of personal development stuff. And it's like, well, what are some of the best books on money, and how could I take a few of those, put that together for some sort of either a lesson plan or a YouTube video or live stream or something like that. And that's why I wanted to do something like this. So what you have to, here's the biggest thing, this is what I believe. Everybody wants to build wealth. Everybody wants to get rich. They want to make more money, right? But the problem is that is only one part of the equation. Anybody can go out and figure out how to make more money. But if you don't know how to keep it, if you're spending it, if you're gambling in a way, if you don't know how to invest it, money gained hastily dwindles. It goes away. What's fast doesn't last, what's slow will grow, right? Biblical. So it would be ill-advised for someone to teach you how to make more money, but then not know what to do with it, not know how to keep it. How do you think about money? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that those 7 books give you a more rounded, a more full education on wealth. And it's not just Proverbs either. There's plenty of books. There's plenty of verses in all throughout the Bible about money. Like one of these we talked about says be generous, right? 11:25 says be generous. Matthew says, okay, yeah, be generous, but don't put on a performance. Don't do all these good things for people in front of other people. That's not the right way to do it. You see what I'm saying? So verses by themselves are great. They are. But when you start connecting them, you start piecing them together, that's when it becomes a more full scope of like, oh, well, yeah, no, I do remember like posting this on social media. I wasn't supposed to do that. Right. That's why you don't see me do that. You don't see me do any of those things. You don't know how much money I've donated. You don't know the things that I've donated. You don't know any of that. And guess what? You never will, baby. You never will. Because that's not for you. That's not for you to know. So, anyway, that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Y'all be good, be blessed. We'll be here same time, same place tomorrow on Tuesday the 13th. It is 1 o'clock. So there's about 2 hours left in a day. I think NQ was the only one that made a new high. If ES or ES may have, I don't know. It's hard to tell, honestly. Okay, it did. So Dow may catch up. It may not. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we come back for that low, lunch low, and then rally up in the final hour. But again, keep in mind, it's the weakest index today. It may not do that, but I think it could. I'll put an alert up there. Or not. There we go. I'll put an alert up there at 49,793. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully you guys got some value today. Y'all be good, be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow.